What is good, people? It's Ramsky here back, and as promised, we are doing our JavaScript tutorial. Before we get started, let me give a shout out to Lil Pumpkin, one of my subscribers. He is also interested in programming himself. I believe he's in financial engineering, and so thanks to him, I am, I'm starting these program tutorials. And let me just talk about my background for a second in web development. Most of you that don't know, I am actually a web developer, and I have been using these languages for a long time, 5 to 6 years. So I just wanted to pass my knowledge on to others and see where they go from there. All right, so let's dive into JavaScript and talk about the history a little bit. It was invented in 1995 by Brendan Eck, and it officially became an ECMA standard in 1997. Most of you who don't know what ECMA is just a web technology standard. And if you want to research more, I'll include a link to ECMA's website or even more about ECMA in the description. But in 1997, that's when version 1 of ECMAScript came out, which is what the official name of JavaScript became. And since then, there have been 7 releases, 7 versions of ECMAScript. A little bit about JavaScript. It is a web technology, one of 3 actually, the other 2 being HTML and CSS. JavaScript is a client-side programming language, which means that the JavaScript will actually run in the browser, or run at browser level. So the browser engine will run the JavaScript, and we don't need a server to run that. And it is not Java. It's not related to Java in any way. The syntax may be similar, but it was not derived from Java. 2 different languages, Java and JavaScript. And the purposes for us is going to be web development. We're going to use it to interact mostly with the DOM, the actual web page, the HTML, even the CSS a little bit. Another purpose of JavaScript is for game development. If you've ever used Unity, you know what I'm talking about. I believe you can use JavaScript to program the games. And then what do we need to get started? What you need is a computer, obviously, no brainer. A text editor or some type of IDE. So I'm going to be using Notepad++. If you have not used Notepad++ or you don't have it installed, I'll include a link to an install page. You can also use the Netbeans IDE. That's actually what I use for my own web portfolio for development, and I've grown to love it. Um, if you don't have Netbeans and you're wanting to use it, I'll include a link down in the description below. And besides those 2, you could use just vanilla Notepad to code. You just need a text editor, and that's it. So I'll leave that up to you. The last thing you will need is a browser, because JavaScript doesn't run on a server. We don't need a local server development like we do with languages like PHP. The other thing you will need is just the basic knowledge of HTML and CSS. If you've seen these 2 languages before, that should be all you need to actually get started. If you have never seen these 2 in action, I would recommend freshening up on HTML and CSS. Okay, so we are in my HTML page here. And the last thing I want to discuss is where exactly are we going to put our JavaScript within our web page. So here is my layout for my web page, and in a couple of videos you will actually see this web page in action. But for now, I just want to talk about where do we include our JavaScript. Well, there's a lot of options where we can include it. We can include it here within the head tags, so you can see as an external script. So right here, this line right here, line number 5, I am including my main.js file as an external script. And if I go over to that file, you can see that there is JavaScript. The only thing that could be contained within this file is JavaScript. The advantage of doing this is separation. So I could include my HTML in here, and then I could go over to my main.js script and include all my JavaScript there. It makes it a lot more cleaner to read. The other way you could do it within the head tags is inline like this. So I have my script tags, but I excluded the source because I want to include the JavaScript between those script tags. So that is another option that you can do. And then the other two options is that you can, do external script tags or inline tags here within the body or even after the body. So I've included an inline script tag down here after the body. And an advantage of doing this is that your HTML page will load and then it will load the JavaScript files. This actually is a performance booster. That way your page doesn't get bogged down by loading script files before actually loading the web page. All right, so that is it for this video. In the next video, we're going to talk about the syntax anatomy and the rules for JavaScript. As always, if you could drop me a like, that would be appreciated. If you are not subscribed, go ahead and give me a subscribe. If you like what you see, more programming videos to come. And yeah, we'll see you guys in the next video.